Well, we're going to park the transfer stories just for about half an hour to discuss, because we've actually got a game on Saturday, believe it or not. We open up our Premier League campaign down on the south coast at Bournemouth, a changed Bournemouth side with Andoni Iraola as manager down at the Cherries. Tom from Back of the Net is joining me to bring some sense to what's going on at Bournemouth, to give us a bit of insight. Tom, how are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, like you say, a lot of change down there. But yeah, we're feeling quietly optimistic, I think.
Oh, fair play, fair play. So give us a sort of overview of what's happened since the season ended to the position you're at now.
Well, everyone started hating us because we decided to sack Gary O'Neill after what was obviously perceived as a bit of a miracle that he did. I think he done a good job. He kept us up. He done what he needed to do, but and obviously for him, it looks like he might be getting another job. So I'm sure he's not too bothered at the moment. But yeah, we obviously saw that Andoni Iraola was someone that we liked and he was available. And we felt that if we wanted to be ambitious, then we had to be a little bit ruthless to get him in. And that's the direction we wanted to go in. So the way he plays, quite offensive. Gary Neal was definitely pragmatic and a bit more, handbrake on. Whereas this seems a lot more exciting. But we still need some bodies in. We've got a few in. Justin Clivert's come in, who looks like an exciting player, and Milos Kerkez at left back looks good. But yeah, we'll still get a few more in. But yeah, it seems a lot more exciting to watch, at least. Nicer on the eye. But yeah, I think we're looking at the other teams. You think we're in a decent position, but we know, as with yourselves, you can get dragged into anything down there. So still got remains to be seen what's going to happen. But I think we're quietly confident, and it's been a decent summer for us.
Yeah, I can just sort of remember when Gary O'Neill got sacked, and I was quite shocked. And then you brought this guy in, and sort of had a look. Looks very highly regarded over in Spain. He's going to play some footballers probably that you haven't seen under Gary O'Neill. From what I've seen, Gary O'Neill looks very much like what we've been doing. Let's defend before we attack. And you've looked to switch things up, and the signings you've made, the left back, we played him last year, and he was very good in the conference. Was it Kerkez? Yeah. He was quite solid, and yeah, it seems like you've made some quite astute signings, which put you in a good position. And I think it's difficult because I can remember talking to you before we played you last time, and I said this will be close, and somehow I still don't know how we beat you 4-0.
Go on. I was gonna say, you must be, because we stayed up relatively comfortably in the end, but the two games against yourselves, you must be looking at us going, how have they stayed up? Because they were two of our poorest games. 2-0 at your place and 4-0 at ours. So yeah, we were pretty poor both times we played you for whatever reason. But yeah, that was a strange one. We didn't perform very well on that day, that's for sure. But yeah, we managed to kind of get safe with enough games to spare, I guess. And yeah, I think subconsciously we maybe just took our foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, that seemed to be the case. As soon as your safety was confirmed, the flip flops came out to an extent. And yeah, I think we scored 3 goals in the first half, which we hadn't scored 2 goals in the first half throughout the whole of the season up to that point. So, so that was definitely an anomaly, and somehow we did that. I think it'll be a lot closer this time around. There isn't a lot of confidence in our camp. As we had a little chat before, obviously it's been strange. Look, we're a side that won't be as good as we were last year. We've lost our best player, and until as it stands, we haven't replaced him, which is looking very good at this point. But how have you seen from the outside looking in what's happened this summer? Obviously, Rise and Shine and the rest of it. But how do you see West Ham weighing up this year?
Yeah, it's a strange one, really. I think there was weird kind of similarities in the sense that I think the outside world and the media all couldn't believe that West Ham fans were kind of saying, "Yes, get rid of Moyes, go somewhere else to take us forward," just because he obviously won that trophy. And it was the same with us. We were all saying we wanted to go in a different direction of Gary O'Neill, and everyone was saying, "But he's kept you up. That's mad." So I think there's some weird similarities there. But yeah, I think everyone knew Declan Rice were going to go, so surprised there wasn't kind of a bit more of a plan going forward. Having said that, I do wonder if there's that problem that you'll have, that every club knows you've got the Declan Rice money. So when you go in and pay the fee that they probably want, the clubs will ask for a bit more because they know
Yeah.
you've got it. And I think that's a bit of an issue. Obviously, very recently, it looks like Paqueta. That would be a big blow if he were to leave as well. But if it's, as reported, Man City, that would be hard for him and the club to turn down. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a weird one, West Ham. I think you wouldn't look stupid to say 10th, but you wouldn't be stupid to say go down. And
Mm.
that's probably similar to ourselves, maybe a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a really intriguing one to see. I think Moyes probably will be high on a lot of people's thinking of one of the first managers to go if it doesn't start well.
Yeah.
I do think that. And from a Bournemouth point of view, definitely the best time to play you because you haven't replaced Rice. Don't know what's going to happen with Paqueta. I'd definitely rather just play you now than if you potentially get a few bodies in as you should and look a little bit stronger. So we're happy with it, with the fixtures in that sense, because we've then got to go to Anfield. Then we got Tottenham, we got Brighton, we got a horrible start. So we've got to look at, no disrespect, obviously, but West Ham at home to try and get off to a good start.
No, and that's the sort of view we've had because we've got, after you boys, we've got a horrific run. I think we've got 5 out of the big 6 in the following 5 weeks after you boys. So that's not good. And we've got, I think we go to Brighton, who we have never beaten in the Premier League ever. So I'm not holding any hope there. And then we go to Luton in their first home game in the Premier League, which is just a complete write-off. And then we go to Man City. So,
Always good.
so there is, it's the first game of the season, but we don't want to see what we did last year. Last year we went 3 games without putting a point on the board. It already puts you on the back foot. It's always good to open your account on the opening weekend, because then we've got a horrible run of fixtures, and everybody wants to do that. It's a strange one because it's going to be different. There's some new rules that have come in as well, so there won't be no catching any early trains back for anybody. In terms of added time, that seems to be that's going to be stacked upon, and I think it's going to take, just from that sense, it's going to take some adapting for players as well. You can't just go and kick the ball away anymore because you're going to get booked. So there's going to be a lot of adapting to do in that sense this weekend as well for the teams, and if you've got a difficult run of fixtures coming up, I don't like to say must win on the first weekend, but it's a game that we both desperately need to win looking ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams, as you said, if your fixtures are tough as well. So I guess from my point of view, trying to be positive is obviously we've got the home game. You'd rather be at home, but also if we've both got tough fixtures, it will be a game that both teams will be looking to win. And the early signs of our new manager is he's the type of manager that tries to win games. I've always looked at David Moyes a bit more pragmatically. So from my point of view, I think that we'll maybe try and win the game a little bit more, and Moyes be a little bit more handbrake, and that might suit us. But we'll have to wait and see. But it's weird, isn't it, going into the opening day and both teams are thinking we really need something here. So results ain't on paper, so you never know. There could be a few surprises. It helped us stay up last season. To be fair, when we were written off, we beat Liverpool, we won at Tottenham. So it can happen. But obviously, you'd rather have the teams that you feel you could be in and around. So I think it'll be a tight game, a cagey one.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as well, when you look at it, you've bought in some, you've bought in some astute signings, as I said earlier. And do you think as well for Bournemouth, there's going to be a sort of adapting process where you're switching styles of play? There's no doubt about that. Where it could take time for things to work together. What have you seen from pre-season in that sense?
Yeah, I definitely think it will take a bit of time for sure because it's completely different, as I mentioned, to previous styles. Not even just Gary Neal, but before that, Scott Parker was more similar and kind of playing a little bit more pragmatically. But yeah, it will take a bit of time, and we're gonna have to accept that to a degree. I think we've seen in pre-season that we've started really fast. It's been really high press, high intensity, and it's got to about an hour, and you can see that we can't quite keep it going, which is probably understandable. Particularly pre-season as well. But yeah, it's going to be completely different for us. We're going to take more risks. It's probably a bit Bielsa-like. I know it's been kind of spoken about like that, where it's very chaotic, and we will get caught. We will get caught, but it will be more front foot and it will be more enjoyable. But yeah, it'll definitely take a bit of time. But we have got players that we feel can probably adapt to that quite well. It's a shame that Tavernier's picked up an injury; he'll be out. But some of the players we've got, Billing, Ouattara, David Brooks, Solanke, they're all quite front foot and happy to chase down and happy to work hard. And then the new left back Kirkes looks like he really wants to bomb on as well, so that'll help us. And yeah, it's going to be in transitions and getting caught a little bit, particularly with the fact that our only defensive midfield player we had was Jefferson Lerma, and he's left, and we've yet to replace him. So at the moment, it
That's
looks
not
like
so
we're
good.
probably
Yeah, letting go of defensive midfielder, not replacing him. We're both in that
yeah,
one.
exactly. So it does look like we're going to go in similarly without a natural defensive midfield player. We'll probably be playing Lewis Cook there, who does a decent job there, but it's probably not as natural to him. So yeah, it'll probably be. I think we'll see a lot of high-scoring games from Bournemouth this season for sure, because we'll be trying to play on the front foot, but we will get caught. We will get caught. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, if you want to go to Tottenham and beat them in the last minute again this year, then that would be greatly appreciated again,
Bloody enjoyed
because
that.
that was mildly amusing, I must admit. Right, let's take some comments. You guys are saying, Wally, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Peter says Bournemouth have done their business early and had time to gel. Do you think there is some optimism around Bournemouth because there's some excitement of playing attacking, stylish football?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think the best recruitment was getting the gaffer in, was getting this highly rated manager in, because I think you'll get more out of the players we've already got. But yeah, obviously we've sprinkled a few nice little transfers there, but it's been quite evident from in and around the club we will be doing a lot more business before the end of the window for sure. We desperately need a midfield player, probably two. We desperately need a right fullback. So we might get another attacking player to help out with Solanke as well. So yeah, it's exciting, but as you mentioned earlier, mate, it is going to take a little bit of time, and we've just got to accept that because it's a new manager, it's a new style.
Yeah, no, of course. Michael says we will lose 2-0. So that sort of epitomises the optimism in our fan base currently. And I don't blame you, Michael. I really don't blame you. Peter says saw we didn't take off until 6:30 on Saturday morning. Arrived in Germany 10:30, 3 hours before kickoff. So no surprise we didn't turn up in our last pre-season game, which we lost 4-0. And if that happened, the assistant manager came out and wheeled out all the excuses. If we didn't fly until the morning of the game and we got 3 hours before, who's sorting this out? Honestly, it doesn't matter now.
Seems a bit strange, that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, only West Ham, honestly. Why are they holding back announcing Alvarez? I don't know. I hope there's not something going on with Paqueta that we don't know about to an extent. But yeah, we should have Alvarez, the Rice replacement announced today, we heard, but we're still waiting for it. He had his medical yesterday, so hopefully nobody's hijacked that deal, because that would be an absolute nightmare. Paqueta has an £84 million release clause that can be triggered next summer. So realistically, if he doesn't go this summer, he's going to go next summer anyway. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, that's very impressive of you, Tom. You've managed to talk to me and comment at the same time.
That is my colleague. That would be Sam.
Your colleague. Very good. Thank you very much for joining us. The important question is now, Wally is a person that had a very big soft spot for Ryan Fredericks. Can you tell us what he's done? Anything?
No, you better look away now, Wally, because I think there might be one. I think he might have completed 190 minutes for the football club. I think. He just hasn't been here. He hasn't kicked the ball in pre-season. Don't think he's been in the matchday squad since the start of the year. But we haven't got a right back because our only two right backs are Ryan Fredericks and Adam Smith. Adam Smith had to play all of pre-season because Fredericks hadn't been available, and he's unfortunately picked up an injury, so we haven't got a right back going into the weekend. So we'll have to be having someone fill in there. But Fredericks, I mean, we haven't seen enough. We can't really comment on what he's like because he hasn't done anything. But it feels like a situation where you guys let him go because you couldn't trust his fitness. And we've taken a gamble to try and hope that he'll stay fit because there's obviously a decent enough player in there. He's got a bit of pace and he's played at a decent level and in the Premier League and he's a good squad player. But unfortunately, he just hasn't done anything. We keep forgetting he's there. I don't even know if he'll get registered in the squad because we just don't see him. We gave him a 2-year deal, so he'll be out of contract at the end of the season and he'll leave. And yeah, weirdly, the other one is Darren Randolph. He hasn't done anything either. But I think he was the case of he's literally come in as the third choice experience and just come in just in case of injuries because he doesn't even get on the bench. So yeah, weird one. So yeah, we don't really want any of yours again because it hasn't gone that well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Does the new Bournemouth manager come with his own bucket like Bielsa? I'll tell
I
you what,
hope
if he plays a brand of football like Bielsa, then it's certainly going to be one to keep an eye on down there. That's for sure. That is for sure. Now from our side, we've had a couple of links to Binning to come to West Ham as well in the last few weeks. Don't know whether you've seen that. Listen, I don't think it would happen by any stretch, but is he a key player for you, would you say?
Yeah, definitely a key player. As our top goal scorer last season. He, as much as Solanke's brilliant and highly rated, he's not a 20 goal a season striker in the Premier League. So you need goals from elsewhere, and Binning always gives us that. Very good player. You would say it seems unlikely, but he is out of contract at the end of the season,
Right.
and it doesn't look like he's looking to sign that contract, to be honest. So it might be one where a few teams might try and tempt us just because we know we'll probably lose him for nothing. But if you're Billing and you're Billing's agent, you probably say just hang on because then you'll get a great deal at the end of the season. Similarly happened with Lerma. Maybe I think it was probably maybe a little bit kind of lazy links with you guys because of the fact you need midfielders. So it makes a bit of sense. I'm not sure. I think if he were to go, he might go abroad. But I think we'll keep him and then he'll go for nothing probably. But yeah, he's a key player for us still, key player for us. But there was I did see as well, Bournemouth were reporting that you did approach us for Solanke. And we just said that he's not for sale and the sort of money we said would tempt us, West Ham weren't interested. So, but I think that's probably good for both clubs in a weird way. I saw someone, a Bournemouth fan, tweet it and I thought, I was bang on with Solanke. It's like, I wouldn't sell him for 30 million, but I wouldn't buy him for 30 million. They're really odd. But I don't think he can... what he gives us is so good, but then he doesn't get enough goals for a centre forward of your caliber. Really, he just works really hard. So yeah,
I think he's probably similar to our Antonio that we have here because Antonio doesn't score a lot of goals, but he's so crucial. And sometimes our fan base forget how crucial Antonio is to our system because we've played a couple of pre-season games, a couple of games towards the back end of last season with Danny Ings up front on his own, and it was an absolute car crash. Antonio is a player that nobody's going to pay big money for because he scores 6 or 7 goals a season. But the way we play and the way Moyes wants to play, I think it's a similar situation where Antonio's been linked with a move away, and I've gone, if Antonio goes, we just as well pack up shop with Paqueta. It's getting to that stage now where we're 3 days before the opening day of the Premier League season, and we've got links of our now best player leaving after our best player before that's left. We're in a position of hopefully, we've got 3 players that look close in Maguire, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez. We're going to be fun this season. And that's about it. But we'll go on to a prediction. Now, I think we both got our predictions wildly wrong last time for this game because of the nature of it. I don't think we'll be too far wrong this time. What's your prediction?
I'm going to have to go into the season positively and say we'll win. I think, like I said about the fact that we play very front foot now and we might get caught, I'm going to say it's going to be high scoring. That's what I'm hoping for. I think it will be a good game. So I'll go 3-2 Bournemouth. We'll have an exciting one and we'll actually be, on a decent time on match of the day, hopefully. But yeah, I think it will be quite open. I think we'll hopefully have a little bit too much because, as you say, you're not in a great place at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-2 Bournemouth.
A high scoring attacking game that has visions of Callum Wilson just prodding it in.
Lovely stuff.
Honestly. My prediction, I don't know. See, I always get somebody to do a prediction. I should think of mine before. I haven't got a clue. Honestly, I've got no idea what West Ham side are going to set up. I don't know who's going to be playing to start with. Noble might have to come out of retirement at this point. I have honestly got no idea. I know the way we'll play. We'll sit back. We will absorb pressure and hope to get you on the counter attack. That's what will happen. And I don't think, you might score a lot of goals, but I can't see us scoring very many goals. I don't see where goals are coming from currently. I can't back a loss on the opening day. 1-1, I'll go for because I think you'll be a surprise package next season. I think, it will either go drastically wrong or you could be pushing, 10th, 11th, somewhere around there, Nobody knows what we're going to do. Nobody knows what they're going to, what you're going to do. There's quite a few surprise packages this season, and it sort of sets up for an exciting season. And yeah, but there's going to be more minutes, so there's every chance of a last minute winner. Hopefully not off somebody's hand, and we will see what happens. I'll go 1-1. Don't ask me who's going to score because I just don't know.
It's bound to be Danny Ings. It's bound.
True.
I don't know if he'll start the game, but
He won't.
no, it'll probably be a sub. But I know he's definitely come to us a couple of times since he's left. I think he scored when he went to Burnley, when he come back to us, and at Southampton. So he's one of them players that has come back to bite us before. So that's one of them things that's always a little bit of a worry. And then set pieces, we conceded the most in the Premier League last season. And that's somewhere where I think you need to look at. That's why I'm hoping we should be able to play you without Maguire, just because he can shove his head on something. And Ward-Prowse's taking them. So that's why it's good to get you out of the way, because I think set pieces, you'll be looking at, people like Zuma to maybe just shove their head on something. And as I say, because of the fullback, particularly right side, fullback issues, and that will bomb on, I think you've got to be looking at Ben Rama and Bowen to try and get us on the break. And I think that's your best chance of getting in for sure. But I think it could go either way, mate. I don't think there's any prediction that would be too wild for this game because it's very hard to predict, as you say.
Yeah. Opening day, nobody's got a clue what anyone's going to be like, and I've got a feeling, opening night as well, Friday night football, Burnley. Who knows what they're going to do at Man City? It's certainly going to be an interesting season once again. Tom, thank you very much indeed for joining me. Good luck for the rest of the season. I do hope we win because we desperately need the points already. That's how much of a fun season it's going to be for us. We desperately need the 3 points on the opening day. But good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And you, apart from, when it's Sunday, I'll say good luck for the rest of the season, boys. But you'll be fine. I think, again, you'll be absolutely fine. At least you get a little European trip again, mate. It's all good fun. Relish that. Enjoy that because, I'd absolutely dream of something like that happening in the future. So, definitely enjoy that.
That is a good point. We do enjoy them, that is for sure. Yeah, so whether it'll be a sort of good thing or a hindrance to us having to play more games with the current squad we've got, I don't know. But yeah, definitely. Those European tours are one to remember for sure. But yeah, Tom, thank you very much. Everybody watching in the chat, thank you very much indeed. We'll now return to some transfer news. I know you're all wanting for it. I'll come back a little bit later on to talk about Paqueta, James Ward-Prowse, Maguire. Oh, you can just see it. Ward-Prowse whips it in. Maguire, bang, 1-0. Thank you very much. Cheers, Thomas. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.